Actually, it's not like super cold yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Hoodie on point, beanie. I ain't taking no chances. I don't do the cold. What is good, everybody out there? I want to welcome you back over to the channel. It's Brother D. I'm back with another video. I'm actually headed over to the gym. Thought I would do an old school drive and talk video. Gonna crank this up a little bit. Turn that down. You know, wifey loves that. Those Christmas jams. They started playing that like right before Thanksgiving, of course. Just like they start selling things in the store, like literally months out before Christmas. Hopefully you all are doing great. Hopefully you're blessed. Christmas service was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Felt the spirit all around the congregation. It was just amazing. So hopefully you're able to do the same with individuals that you love and care for as well. And yeah. So in this video, I want to talk about a topic that it's not trending, brand new, but it's been something that's been going on for like extensive amount of time, we'll say. You see the title of the video, we're going to be talking about the truth about bodybuilding. I feel like I qualify to talk about this subject because I personally have been working out for 21 years. I've been competing in bodybuilding shows since 2008, with my last show being in 2017. So it has been a couple of years, quite a few years since I've stepped on stage. But if I would want to, get back up there and get things rolling once again, I could do it in the blink of an eye. But the way that my life is going currently, I had to take a step back from the world of bodybuilding. You have two different types of bodybuilding. You have natural bodybuilding and you have enhanced bodybuilding. If you don't know what enhanced means, it's basically the usage of chemicals, PEDs, we'll say, that here on YouTube. Certain words are trigger words, and you should pretty much get an idea as far as what I mean by that. So there's two different types of bodybuilding. We've been seeing an alarming rate of men and women drop dead. Heart attacks, primarily. Young men and women in their 50s and in their 40s who have just had the life taken away from them, all due to the lifestyle of bodybuilding, all due to the demand of competitive bodybuilding, all due to egos, all due to money, in which really isn't a lot of money involved with bodybuilding, but I digress. Dallas McCarver a couple of years ago, Rich Piana, Luke Sando, John Meadows, George Peterson, Sean Rhoden, and a couple of other men and women, in between, that have passed away due to bodybuilding. I know a lot of people who are just kind of treading on edge when it comes to whether or not they want to pursue a career in bodybuilding. I turned pro, natural pro, that is, not IFBB, in 2017. But I had to lay it down about a year or so ago, but a year after that, because it was basically taking over my life. It was making me obsessive. It was making me neurotic. It was making me selfish. You know, I got a family, wife, children. If you look at a lot of the top tier bodybuilders, a lot of them don't have that. Why? Because bodybuilding is a very selfish, some people don't want to call it a sport, call it whatever you want. I'm not that person that's going to sit up here and debate whether it's a sport or a pageant. You know, I don't care. Call it whatever you want. But it's very time consuming to the point where it just really, you don't think about anything but competing. I have X amount of weeks out. I got to get all of my meals in. I got to get my cardio in. I have to train. I got to pose. I got to do all of these things that basically suck the life out of my life and the life out of everybody around me. When I saw that bodybuilding was becoming a problem, I laid it down. I laid it down because to me, my family was more important. But there's some people out here who sacrifice everything when it comes to bodybuilding. So the truth about bodybuilding, what is the truth? The truth about, and we're talking about competitive bodybuilding, okay? I'm not talking about just lifting weights to make yourself healthier and better. I'm talking about competitive bodybuilding, chemically enhanced bodybuilding. That's what I'm talking about. The truth about it is its end is very bitter. You ever watched Dragon Ball Z? You know, Goku has Super Saiyan 3, right? A very powerful form. But he can only be in that form for so long before he ends up reverting back to regular Goku, or I guess Super Saiyan 2, one of the two. My point is he can't stay that way. He can't stay that way for very long. The same can be said about individuals who choose to hop on chemicals to enhance their bodies. You can't stay that way forever. And during the process, you are taking years off of your life. You are wreaking havoc to your insides. You're basically robbing yourself of the quality of life. Now, I know there are going to be some people who come on here and say, well, let people do what they want to do. Let people live how they want to live. And it's true, fine, you can. But when you're somebody like myself who actually has a heart for people, who cares about people, it's really hard for me to just sit on the sideline and be quiet while you kill yourself. Why do we want people to stop smoking cigarettes? Why do we want people to stop shooting heroin? Why do we want people to stop drinking alcohol? Because we want to see them live. We want to see them be healthy. We want to see them be a better version of themselves. Well, the same could be said about people who use PEDs. The standard for competitive bodybuilding is, on the outside, very impressive. Striated glutes, gnarly conditioning, veins all over the place, dryness, muscularity. But the standards are also extremely unhealthy. To be at a very low body fat percentage, to be as dry as possible, forcing competitors to take prescription diuretics. If you don't know what that is, basically that's a substance that takes out sub-Q, or also known as subcutaneous water, from under the skin to make you appear, to give you this nice, dry, unnatural look that the judges want, or the organization wants. Now, bodybuilding didn't used to always be that way. There used to be guys back in the day who had a little bit of fat on the glutes, who was sweating bullets. Striations really wasn't a thing unless it was in the chest. You really didn't see any striations in any other body part other than the chest and the shoulders. But now you see striations in the triceps. You see striations in the glutes, striations in the quads. They're all over the place. This is the standard. And because of that, men and women are having to push themselves to unhealthy lengths to achieve these things. You see, the industry doesn't care about your health. There's nothing healthy about competitive bodybuilding. Nothing. It's an event that ultimately has a bitter end. You got athletes out here who have literally given their lives to sell out seats, literally giving their lives to the sport of bodybuilding. And then something happens. You know, they have a heart attack or succumb to insulin, because a lot of them take insulin, going through like a coma, diabetic coma. That's another thing right there. Pumping your body full of substances that you don't need. Like, there are bodybuilders who treat themselves like type 1 diabetics, shooting insulin to volumize the muscle. That's not bodybuilding, folks. That's chemical warfare. I don't know about you, but that's not what I signed up for. I'm pretty sure that's not what a lot of people signed up for. It's probably bodybuilders who used to train back in the 80s and the 90s that are looking at these guys today like, oh my gosh, like, talk about push it to the limit. And the worst thing about all of this is that even though these men and women are doing all of this crazy stuff to volumize their bodies, to push their bodies to unnatural lengths, when they die, because a lot of them do, the industry will acknowledge it a little bit, and then they don't care anymore. It's on to the next. It bothered me a couple of days ago. I was watching a video from Dennis James. A lot of you bodybuilding fans should know who Dennis James is. Retired IFBB pro. He was interviewing a young, new bodybuilder by the name of Brett Wilkin. Now, I don't know a lot about Brett Wilkin, but I do know that he's had one heck of a transformation when it comes to his physique. Like, he was like really small, and all of a sudden he's a freaking monster. And the thing is, it happened really quickly. So, as I was listening to the podcast, listening to the interview, mind you, Sean Rhoden just died about a month ago. And before that, it was George Peterson. And the industry cries, the industry weeps. People in the industry say, well, something needs to be done. We need to do something. No one's done anything, and no one's going to do anything. So I was listening to Dennis interview Brett, and he was like, nothing's going to stop you from achieving the goal in which you have. I know that nothing's going to stop you. I know that nothing's going to keep you, distract you, that you're going to push yourself to get there. And when he said the word push, I was like, well, the first thing that came to mind was he's talking about PEDs. Like, you're going to take what you have to take. You're going to do what you have to do to achieve your goals. This is the type of stuff that nobody wants to talk about. Like, this is the stuff that is just pushed up under the rug and that they hope never comes up. But the fact is, it's kind of hard to not bring it up when people keep dropping like flies. It's hard to not talk about this. Look, one of these days there's going to be an investigation, and there may not be an Olympia. There may not be an Arnold Classic. Other than that, it's going to be a lot of people going to jail the more all these people keep dying. George Peterson and Sean Rhoden's funeral is on YouTube. I highly recommend that you check it out. It's a whole other feeling. It hits hard to see those two young men in a casket. George Peterson around my age. Sean Rhoden, 46, I believe. Still too young. Still too young to be dead. And you look at them and you think about all of those, the legendary poses that they used to hit. You think about the smiles they used to give. You think about all that stuff when you see them in that casket. Every bodybuilder out here who is aspiring to become an IFBB pro needs to watch those videos. You need to watch those two men in the casket. You need to see it. You need to see it. Because you could start off and say, well, I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to take that much. I'm going to be conservative until the bar gets risen, until you start realizing that you're not going to go far unless you start playing the game like everybody else. And then naturally, you're going to want to do a little bit more. Well, I'm already taking a little bit of this and a little bit of that, so I might as well go ahead and take this and take that so I can climb up the ranks. All of the guys fall for it. It's a bitter end. The thing about it is that I believe that more people die from this stuff than we know of. These are just famous bodybuilders that we know. But I know there's got to be people all around this world who push it even harder, that their bodies just collapse. The truth about bodybuilding is that it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Of course, all of this is opinionated. There's somebody out here that's probably thinking, this guy needs to shut up. Why are you talking? You're not an IFBB pro. No, I'm not. Because I want to live. That's why. There's more to life than bodybuilding, folks. There's more to life than pinning myself 10, 12 times a day. There's more to life than dehydrating my body to stand in front of a crowd, being judged, being told by about 6 to 10 judges whether I'm good enough or not. There's more to life than that. But you know, at the end of the day, people are gonna do what they want to do. So I guess this is going more towards, you know, younger people out there, you know, between the ages of about 18 to 25, I'd say. That was around the time period that I took a humongous interest in bodybuilding. You know, I used to read all of Muscular Development. I used to read Flex Magazine. I used to read Pro Wrestlers Illustrated, not wrestlers. Just I used to watch. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother subject right there. Wrestling. Yeah, don't think that they're all clean either. But anyway, I used to read all of those different type of bodybuilding magazines, and I used to watch all of the videos, and I get it. It's very intriguing. It's very motivating. It's very addicting. You want that, but it does come at a cost. It does. You know, at the end of the day, we're adults. You do what you want to do, but I'm just not going to sit here and be quiet. You know, I have to say my piece when it comes to this whole ordeal with bodybuilders dying. You're not supposed to be dying. That's not healthy. You know, promoting health, we'll say, when we talk about bodybuilding. It's not promoting health. Now, if you want to work out, take care of your body, go ahead. I wholeheartedly support that. I love working out. I love bodybuilding, natural bodybuilding, because it promotes health. But when it gets to the point that you have to start pumping chemicals into your body to look a certain way, then we got a problem. Just because you look good doesn't mean that you're going to feel good. All right? So I'm at the gym now. I'll show y'all. It's time to get in here and do my cardio. Remember, do your cardio, folks. Take care of your heart. Heart health above all, folks. Live a long one. Take it easy, everybody. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, comment down below. Brother D is out. Peace.